Hello, good evening to anybody who has decided to join. I am going to be making some butterflies tonight. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I appear to be having camera issues, so hold on. Okay, let's try this again. I'm gonna make some butterflies tonight. Hopefully, I can get quite a few of these done tonight. They don't take very long. Pretty simple. Turn out pretty cute. I think these will hopefully be a hit at my spring market. Easy buys for my spring market, at least. I'm hoping for. It's also a really easy pattern if anybody wants to follow along. It's pretty simple. I have done it where I don't even need to sew in the ends really. You can if you want to, but the way I'm kind of doing it, you don't have to. So it's just a magic ring, or you can do chain 4, and then you're gonna do 8 double crochets. So it's gonna be 3 double crochets, chain 1, 3, chain 1, 3, chain 1, all the way around, so that you have a total of 8. It's going to give it a wobbly feel, which is completely fine. That's kind of actually what you want to happen. And then you're going to slip stitch back into that first chain, and then clip your end. So you're going to have just kind of a wobbly circle, which is completely fine. Once you flip it over with the next round, it'll wind up folding neatly to look like these guys here. So they're just folded so they can open. But they make cute little butterflies. I kind of like them without the antenna. The antenna to me is kind of, I don't know, they don't quite sit just right. They're cute both ways, so I'll probably make a mix of some that do and some that don't. But I haven't really decided yet on how I was going to do that. And then I'm just going to make an array of different colors. So for the next round, you're going to be putting these next clusters. You're going to start by slip stitching into a middle post. I like to start where my tail is, personal preference, because that's how I make it so I don't really have to sew anything because nothing's sticking out. So you're simply just going to slip stitch into there, and then you're going to find your first chain space, and you're going to put 6 double crochet into that chain space. And then once you have the 6, you're going to find that middle post again, slip stitch into the next one, and you're going to put another 6 into the next chain space. And you're going to do that all the way around. So four, 5. You're going to notice as you're doing this that this starts to fold more. That's fine. It's not going to affect anything. You actually kind of want that look because that's pretty much telling you that you're doing this the right way. I did not create chain spaces. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to sort of create my own space. This is going to be a Bob Ross moment. We're going to deal with a happy little mistake. And we'll just stitch there and go into that next chain space. This one will probably wind up being my daughter's because I screwed it up, depending on how it looks. But she's pretty adamant that I make her a blue one. So we'll see what happens with that. Tried to give her a pink one earlier today and it did not go well. She pretty much looked at me and said, "No, Mommy, I want the blue one." Which I should have known. Her blue is her favorite color, so I shouldn't be surprised by this fact. But I thought I gave her originally this one, but it was not the blue one. Then I was like, I'll make her a pink one. And I wanted to kind of test it out with the Bernat Velvet and see how it came out. I didn't like this one as much. I feel like the butterflies kind of lost in it a little bit more. Could be the hook size I was using, but I also didn't want to be super gappy. So this one will probably float around the house for a while. But I tried to give it to my daughter and she said no. Okay, so you kind of have this ruffled look going on. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of bend it until you get the butterfly look. I put my hook at the bottom space just so that I could loop the body around and again kind of tie in those ends without having to stitch them. And then I just simply loop my yarn around. I do 3 times for the body look. You can do as many as you like. And then I simply slip stitch into the back side of this butterfly, pull through, and then I will clip my end, pull that all the way through. You can't really pull this tight to tighten the last stitch if you made it a little too loose, because all you're doing is tightening it around the body. But it kind of fixes itself, so I pull it through my loops and then I just tie off my ends. And because I tie them and they're in here, you can pretty much just clip them close and you'd be perfectly fine. It shouldn't give any issues. I mean, I gave one to my daughter, had her playing with it. It didn't come apart. It looks kind of like a crumpled mess now, but it didn't come apart. And she's, she's about 2, so she's pretty rough with her toys. And very simple little butterfly. Very cute, very simple. I think they're kind of fun. I think little kids will enjoy them. If they don't sell at my market, I might see about attaching them to maybe some vines or something along those lines. Maybe using them for like a wind chime. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do if they don't sell. I have a couple other whites already made up, so I'm going to do the ends of these real quick. Just kind of made a bunch of white while I was going through. I haven't decided if I want to do any specifically Easter themed items for the spring fair. I know that that's kind of what it's supposed to be based around, but I haven't really decided. I thought about making some ducks or some bunnies. But since I don't really know how the market's going to be, it's kind of trying to find something that could be used all over. I mean, everybody likes a bunny, so I shouldn't really judge that. But I was also trying to find more simple items to bring, just because I didn't want to have too many larger items and then nobody would want to purchase anything because it's too expensive. And for anybody who's wanting to learn how to do one, I'll do one here a little bit slower once I finish these 3 and get them completed. I'll start another one from scratch and do it a little bit slower for you guys. And you can follow along, you can write it down. Whatever you guys feel that you need to do. The nice thing is these videos I do upload to YouTube as well. So if they disappear from my Twitch account, since they're changing how they do some of the video streaming, then you should still be able to go find them on YouTube and rewatch them. You can like, subscribe, so when I upload new videos, you get informed about it. I am planning to try and do some how-to videos and just upload those just to YouTube for people. We are in the process of attempting to move those, so I'm a little short on time between market preps and this packing, managing the kiddos, work, all of the things. So I don't know, unless it's something that I'm doing specifically for the market. I'm not sure if I will have a bunch of help videos right out of the gate. It might have to wait just a little bit longer. All right. This ring got a little loose, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten it before I try and close the butterfly. And then we're going to do our couple of loops. Go through the back. My end. Tie everything off. You want to be super careful that you don't accidentally cut your butterfly while you're snipping these short. And there you go, another butterfly. Give me just 1 second, guys. Smother yourself. Here's your binky. Sorry, my son lost his binky and he was not happy about that situation. I'm trying to almost use this as a stash buster as well and use up some of this yarn that I don't really know what to do with. I think it'll wind up making a cute array of little butterflies. I am also using a 4mm hook and just regular worsted weight. Not using anything fancy. I'm kind of mixing stuff. Like I said, I'm kind of using it as a little bit of a stash buster to try and get through some of this stuff that I'm not super fond of. Well, I guess I shouldn't say I'm not super fond of. I just don't really have uses for them. So this is kind of an easy way to get some uses out of it. So I've debated about making flowers to go with them, but I've actually never made a flower before, so I'm not sure what to do. I thought about making just a simple one, but then I was like, well, I don't want to do just like a pansy. I would like to do something else, but I couldn't figure out what so far. So I'm just kind of going with it. And if I decide that there's a flower that I like, I might try and make some to see if I could sell a butterfly with a flower or something along those lines. Again, I haven't really decided. I only decided on the butterflies today or yesterday. I think I made some yesterday evening. And so I was like, yeah, I think I'll make some of these on the stream tonight and then I can show you guys how to make them and kind of make a fun night out of it and have some really cute butterflies. Try and mix up colors. I even have a couple of fun colors, I guess you could say. So I might try doing some butterflies in this. I only have one of this, so it's not like I could really make a whole lot, so I thought it might be fun. I also have this Mandala Sparkle that I thought might be kind of fun to just make some butterflies out of it and see what happens with them. I have it over here. Don't know if I'll necessarily use it tonight to make them, or if they'll just get used eventually and I'll post photos on my Facebook for them. And then kind of go from there I wasn't actually sure how this little green butterfly was going to come out. It's kind of cute, actually. I was debating if I would make it. And then I figured, you know what, why not? There's going to be a kid out there that loves green, even if it's the only one that I make. Some kid out there is going to be, yes, I want the green butterfly. You could do this too. You could tie at least the white ones before you close up your butterfly. It just kind of depends on what you want to do. There's no really right or wrong way. If you want to close them after, if you want to close them before, there's no right or wrong way to do your butterfly. And like I said, if you guys want to, you can also sew in your ends of your butterfly. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm just kind of choosing not to. I'm choosing to use this as a quick item. And just kind of pull it through and clip it. It's not going to be something that's really going to be like torn at, I feel. So just getting these things together, and because the knots are in the middle, you'll never feel them unless somebody's digging around. And then in that case, they might just do more damage just because they're digging around through the middle of the butterfly than the actual knots will be anyway. And there you go. There's our first green butterfly. All right, I got one more pre-made one. And then I will show you guys how to do from the start again. I can also do, I was thinking about doing a black butterfly. I think that could be kind of cute too. I can do brown too, a brown body or a brown center. I also thought about switching, so kind of how like this one is, switching the color out for the wings. It doesn't really seem to be a favorite among friends. They like having the colors on the outside versus the inside, so I might try playing with having just different colors together. Again, I haven't really quite decided on that yet. I figured I'd get a good base started and then kind of play with some of that stuff after the fact. I've considered trying to see if I could do multiple colors for the wings. But I feel like with this simplistic pattern, that might be asking a little too much out of it. That might be a more complicated butterfly I come up with later. And see if I could do something cuter along those lines where I mix colors and have more fun with it. I probably won't ever do a super realistic butterfly. I think that might be just a little too much for me personally. I'm not super interested in doing it, but I think they could be cute. And so I might try it someday if I'm bored, but I probably will never make a more realistic butterfly. One more. All right. Close this up again. The center doesn't have to be super tight, but you do want it to be a little bit snug so that you don't have a giant hole in the base of your butterfly. Find that center area, wrap around. I stab through the slip stitch at the back. Pull through. And notch your ends. Clip your ends. And there we go. Another butterfly. Like I said, pretty quick, pretty simple. So I'm going to show you guys again how to make your base, the center of the butterfly first, and then I will walk you through doing the outside again. So for this, I prefer the magic circle. If you don't like magic circles, you can always do a chain, probably a chain 3 or a chain 4. I'm using a size 4mm hook. So what you're going to do is you're going to make either your chain space or your magic circle. You're going to do 3 chain, and then you're going to make 2 more double crochet. 1, 2, and then you will do a chain space, and you'll do 3 double crochet. 1, hang on, 1, 2, and 3, and you're going to chain again. So you're going to repeat that so that you have 8 clusters, and then when you get to that 8th one, you're going to slip stitch back into your first chain 3 space. tighten your magic circle as you need to. I always accidentally let mine out a little bit as I'm going just because of how I hold it. All right, I think I have one more, but I'm gonna check anyway. So I got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, one more. And do my last chain. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to pull this tighter. I'm going to still do that chain, and then I'm going to slip stitch back into that chain 3. And then you can just go ahead, cut, and then I pull my end through, pull it snug, and you have your little waffle circle going on here. Now, I think I'm going to have fun, and I'm going to try to use this yarn. Let's see if I can find the center of it without causing an absolute mess. Nope, I had a yarn baby. All right, give me just 1 second to get through this and see if I can find the end. Just gonna finish pulling it apart just so that I don't have any issues. Okay. All right, we're gonna see how this looks. This could be fun, or this could turn out absolutely horrible. We're gonna find out together. Okay, so you're going to take your first chain 3. That is a very bright light on there. So we're going to have our chain 3 and our first 2 double crochet. Again, this is where I do it. You're going to find that second space, and you're going to slip stitch into that. Again, this is a personal preference. You can do that anywhere along this circle. You can do it in any of these clusters. Just make sure you hit that middle one. I prefer to do it here because I can do the knots at the end and not have any issues. So you're going to slip stitch in, you're going to make that connection, and then you're going to yarn over, you're going to find that first chain space, and we are going to make 6 double crochet in this. This yarn is absolutely not fun to work with. It's very stiff. Feels almost like it needs to be washed. It's just sat around for a long time. This was gifted to me, so I'm not sure where this yarn sat beforehand. a lot of purple right now. Well, kind of purple. Um, it's interesting. I don't hate it. This maroon purple situation I have going on is definitely the dominant color right now, it feels like. It does kind of make these other colors stand out a little bit more though, so might be worth it. Three, 4, 5, 6. I don't think I actually explained this. Okay, so when you're doing this, you're going to start with your slip stitch wherever you want in that circle. In that first chain space, you're going to do the 6 double crochet, and then you're going to find the second stitch in that next cluster. You're going to slip stitch into that, find the next chain space, 6 double crochet. You're going to continue that all the way around, so it's slip stitch, 6 double crochet in the chain space, slip stitch, 6, slip stitch, 6. So by the time you get around, you're going to have those 8 butterfly ends by the time you get back around. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I've got one more to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then once you're at this end, you're going to slip stitch back into the original area. So slip stitch through, pull through. Okay, so now we have this little funky situation going on. I flip it so that way I can get my little butterfly situation. You want to have it should be laying pretty flat for you by the time you actually get to this point. So if it's screwing up like this and you're trying to lay it, it's not lining up, just kind of keep twisting the butterfly until you find where it essentially winds up laying flat over itself. Okay, and then you're going to take your yarn. Like I said, I do 3 loops. That's my preference. 1, 2, and 3. I'm gonna try to get into the slip stitch on the opposite side of my butterfly, and I'm simply going to pull yarn through, pull it through like a slip stitch, to pull that all the way out. Give it just a little tug. Personal preference. Don't know why I do that. It's just my thing. And I'm going to pull it through onto this other side. And now I'm going to take a moment to tie all of these. This also ensures that it won't fall apart from the center, hopefully. Keeps everything nice and tight and no worries about anything breaking loose. Cut your ends. And here we go. We have an adorable little butterfly. I like how this came out. It kind of gives this butterfly a little bit more. A little bit of rainbow going on, it looks like. I think it blends in super well if we're to throw them in here with everybody else. Kind of gives it something a little different. I will definitely be making more of these. I think it's a really great combo. I probably wouldn't use a darker yarn as a base with this just because I think it would take away from the color. But I do think that some of these other ones I can mix that black base in and see how it turns out. It might give it a really cool dimension. I have some black here, and since I'm not having to do rounds and rounds of black, I'm actually willing to give this a try because I don't really have to fight with it. Oh, well, that piece is already off. See, anybody who's ever worked with black yarn before knows that working with black yarn in anything other than legitimate daylight is miserable. Don't know why. Even if you have very bright lights on in your house, it is just awful to work with at night. But I'm going to give it a shot for you guys so we can see what one of these turns out like. And see if it is potentially worth doing some black bodies for these butterflies. I'm sure if you worked with a brown or a tan, that would probably look super cute as well. But we are going to find out. Right. 4. 5. 6. 7. 1 more. 1, 2, 3. Do my chain. Try to get it somewhere in this chain 3 space and slip stitch. All right. Pull my center tie a little bit. So there is the black one, the black base. I think I'm gonna try with a blue and see what that comes out with. I feel like the blue has possibly the best contrast for this right now. So we're gonna see if we can get this to work. And I hope that it comes out. All right. Oh god, I didn't think about this part. Okay, so 1, 2. We're gonna play the guessing game a little bit. All right. So our slip stitch and that first chain space. We're gonna get those 6 double crochets in here. All right, so black at night is still definitely not a good idea, even if you are not crocheting black into black. I'm just sort of guessing a little bit. Sorry, this blue yarn is actually up in a yarn tower next to my station here. I didn't feel like trying to haggle it out of the rest of the yarn stash to come down. So I'm just pulling it for this one. This yarn, this blue that I'm using, it's Caron Simply Soft, and I have to say, soft it is, but I am not a fan of this yarn. It's very slippery, and I feel like I tend to split it more frequently than I do other yarns. It's probably just a me thing. I know my mother-in-law crochets with this, and I don't think she had the same issues as I'm having. All right, a couple more here. And I actually think that this one is going to come out kind of cool. You won't be able to see the body. Well, no, because the body will be blue. So it shouldn't be an issue. I will be glad when I have finally worked through all of this yarn. Some way or another. If I make a bazillion butterflies, or if I do something else with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can't say that I will be sad when it's gone. One, two, three, 4, 5, and 6. All right. Slip stitch into that backspace again. All right. And so now we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna rotate this clump of mess until we get a butterfly where I want it. So I want this at its base. So I'm going to turn it until I get a little butterfly. Now, this blue looks very purple in here for some reason. I don't know why. I can guarantee you it is a royal blue. Maybe it looks more blue too because it's up against the black. All right, so we're going to do my loops. 1, 2, and 3. Get that hook through that back space. Pull around, pull through. Oop. All right, we're going to tie off the ends. Again, if you guys also want, you can give these guys antennas. I am actually kind of preferring the no antennas. I think they just kind of look, they're cute, but I also think they look a little messy with this one who has them. Oops. They just don't kind of sit right, and then it just looks like there's just extra yarn hanging out on these dudes. All right. And there we have it. We have our first black and blue little butterfly. I do think he's pretty cute. Again, I'm not actually sure why he looks so purple on the screen versus the actual blue he is. It's actually like a very like royal blue. The contrast is pretty cute. I don't think I would have a ton of this one. I will probably have a lot more of these white, very bright, very summery feels. But I would definitely probably make a couple of these, throw them into the mix. I think somebody out there will think that that's the most adorable thing on the face of the planet, and it really shouldn't be an issue. I don't think I'll have any issues getting rid of them. But I do think my favorite so far is this guy. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and make some more bases out of just my white so I can make some more of this color. I'll probably add in some more purples and pinks and things like that. So right now I've got just my one purple. I have my couple of blues here. I have my greens. These look red, but they're actually more orange than they are red. I think it's just, again, a camera color difference, but they're definitely orange. And of course I got my gold ones here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead, make some more of my little bases to start. I kind of like just getting a bunch of them done in one time, because then I can just focus on doing one thing versus switching all the time. I can just focus on powering through the rest of my little pile of white yarn here. And then tomorrow, if I don't have time tonight, uh, I can I can do all the edges for these guys instead. Um, I have a lot of pieces where I kind of make stuff in chunks and then just put them all together. I have a lot of cactuses sitting around that need to be finished putting together. I have turtles that need to be finished putting together. I have a bunch of shells, but no bodies for them. They're on my things to do. I plan to take some turtles to the spring fair too, just because my turtles always sell really well. I just haven't actually made them in a little while. They're not difficult. I've pretty much created my turtles to be a no-sew at this point too, so it's not a complicated thing to make with a lot of sewing or anything like that. I just haven't really felt very turtly. One, two, three, four, five. Six. Seven. And 8. My yarn's attacking me. I might see tomorrow if I can find some cream colored yarn to use. I think having a cream base would look really cute for some of these colors. 2, 3. I don't want to make too many because I don't want to have a bunch and just be sitting on them. I have a couple of items like that already that I just can't seem to get rid of. I don't really know why. And then items that I don't think will sell, they somehow sell. So you never know. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 8. Pull it tight. Well, maybe pull it tight. My chain. There we go. Another weird little donut. I might try to write this pattern down and just put it as a free pattern on my Ko-fi for everybody. So if you want the written pattern, I can write up a pretty simple sketch for it. Or not sketch, but I can write up a pretty simple pattern. It's not an overly complicated thing. One, two, three, four. I already lost count. 4. 5. 6. 7. One more. 2 and 3. Might try to fix that. That's a little too loose for my liking. There we go. That's a little bit better. Perfect. I have no idea how many of these I'm necessarily going to make. I have a decent chunk of this white left. And it obviously doesn't use very much to go through the white. check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I will be right back, guys. I'm having some internet difficulties, so I'm going to apologize. I will probably head out a little early because of it while we try to figure out some of the issues going on with it. I don't want to keep streaming and giving you guys bad videos, so I will say goodnight for now. I will see about creating a pattern, getting this up on my Ko-fi. If you want to rewatch this again, it's going to be on my YouTube, so you guys can like and subscribe to my YouTube and rewatch the videos as much as you need for the video tutorial of how to do this. I will probably try to come up with a better one for you guys. It's not on the streaming to go along with the pattern. Um, and then you guys can have it on hand for whenever you guys need to use it. If you guys want to see anything on another stream, find me on Facebook, leave me a message, let me know what you want to see, and I will see if I can make that happen for you on my next stream. Otherwise, I will see you guys Friday night. I guys hope you guys have a good evening, and I'll see you guys all soon. Thanks. Bye.